Good morning, one and all. Welcome to another Cockerel Doodle Do, your Spurs morning show. We will have Dave joining us shortly, but right now it's just me and the partner in crime, Johnny. Johnny, how are you this morning, sir?
I'm all right. I'm okay. Nearing the return of ANGEBALL, which we're all looking forward to, I think, now.
We are.
Counting the days.
Exactly, and the return of Ange Ball means the return of Ange management, which is the most important thing out of it all. So, Dave, like I said, will be joining us. We'll say good before I say good morning to everyone. Just a very quick thing I wanted to mention because I just saw it on a tweet about an hour ago. Congratulations to my second favourite player of all time and my favourite defender of all time, Jan Vertonghen, who earned his 150th cap for Belgium. The guy is just incredible. And to reach 150 caps, Johnny, is just an incredible achievement for anyone, isn't it, in this day and age?
Even I don't have 150 caps.
Oh, that's very good. I see what you did there. That's very good. How many do you have?
Oh, a lot. I just would also like to add to that a very happy birthday to one of our favourite young players, Papa Matasar.
Yeah, it's also Porro's birthday, or was that yesterday? I think they're on the same day. I think we've got a double birthday in the house.
A birthday fest. Maybe they'll share a cake. Maybe Daniel will go full out and buy them 2 cakes. I doubt it.
Well, now Yaya Touré's gone, there probably will be cakes. Let's have a look. So let's just say hello to everyone. Warrior without a master, good morning. Tottenham all, good morning. And as I said, Dave will be joining us. Mark Cousins, big up, good morning to you, sir. Kuva, this is something we'll be talking about straight away, and everyone knows this channel's attachment to mental health and anything to do with it. So it's going to be the first subject today, Kuva. But thanks for bringing it up. I hope you're good, brother. I've gone back. Yeah, Crossbow Gaming, good morning to you. Colin Cross, good morning to you, sir.
Colin.
Just a harmless potato, good morning. Benjamin Foster, good morning, sir. Ren, good morning. Andy T.
Ren.
Father Pay, big up. Chris Allen, big up. And Rich Sman, how are we doing? So, yeah, first topic of today, obviously. Oh, and also, good morning to a very good friend of mine, Fran. I hope you're good. And Drula is here. They're all coming in now. First of all, apologies for not being on yesterday. Something came up that I couldn't get out of. So, that was the reason I wasn't on the show. And yeah, if only Lisa, good morning, darling. So Richarlison came out yesterday and spoke out.
Well,
and
he didn't come out, but he
well, you know what I meant. And we were obviously there's been a lot of questions about his form, rightly so, but also obviously there is. Okay, sorry, Kuva, I didn't know. You get 2. There you go, Kuva. Look, Kuva being the jealous type, there he is. But yeah, obviously Richarlison's come out now. Now this channel has, and people that have watched this channel for long enough, and especially through myself and what I do for promoting mental health and addiction and telling my story as it is and as it has done. And this channel will be doing another mental health special when I get back to Toronto. It's just working out the time to do it. He's come out with a statement. Johnny, you've got the statement to read, haven't you?
Yeah. So this is a statement after, obviously, they beat Peru in La Paz. It says here, Richarlison, after his side Brazil had beaten Peru 1-0, stating he needs psychological help. He said, on the field, I'm a happy team player. I try to help as much as possible. Sometimes things don't go the way we want. I think this part is a bit of the off the field side that ended up getting in my way. Even though you want to do things right, it ends up going wrong. I will continue to focus on the club. The storm has passed. I went through a very turbulent time in the last 5 months off the field. Right now, things are right at home. People who were around me, who only had the eye on my money, walked away from me. Now things will start to flow. I'm sure I'll get a good run at Tottenham and make things happen again. That sad moment wasn't even because I played poorly, in my opinion. I didn't play a bad game in Belém. It was more of an outburst about the things that were happening off the field. He's talking about the Peru game, yeah? in Bolivia. Sorry, the Peru game. Sorry, which got out of control. Not on my part, but on the part of people who are close to me. I'm going to go back to England, seek psychological help from a psychologist. Interesting. I hope he didn't go to a chiropodist to work on my mind. That's it. Come back stronger. I believe I will be in the next squad for Brazil. I will work for that. It's about getting a good streak at Tottenham this week. I'm going to sit down and talk to them. I need a good streak, get the rhythm of my game, and get well again.
There you go. Well, first of all, let me just bring Dave in because I didn't want to bring him in whilst you were reading that. Good morning to you, Dave. How are you, sir?
Morning, everyone. How's it going?
Dave.
I'm good. Morning, Johnny. How are you both?
Yeah, different halo this morning.
I know, yeah. Look, I got a bit brighter today.
Yeah.
You realise it was breakfast time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dave, I'll come to you first. What have you made of Richarlison's comments and everything that has been going on?
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? We always sit there and think about players and everything and when they're not on form and stuff like that. But Richarlison coming out publicly and admitting, admitting that things are not going well with himself and he's seeking help, I think is massive of him. I mean, it's really big, especially in sport. You see Dele when he came out with his thing and stuff like that. And I think it's really big of him to come out and admit it, you know, saying that, you know, I'm having issues. I need to go and get myself some help. And I think a lot of people can look at that and, you know what I mean, do it themselves because you don't know what anyone's going through. And the hate he's got, the stuff that's been said about him and stuff, I just think people need to lay off him now. I think they can, you know what I mean? Next game at home, fans need to give him a bit of a voice as well, you know? Whether he's starting, whether he's on the pitch or not, the fans need to give a bit of voice to him to show that he's got support because at the moment, that's what he needs.
Yeah. I mean, Johnny, I'm going to come to you after because this is, I've got to say this as well because obviously the bit where he says about the people who are after my money have gone, I'll let you know. Obviously, I've never been in a place where I've earned anywhere near, nowhere near even what he earns a week. But I remember during my alcohol and cocaine fueled days, I used to go out with a lot of money in my pocket, a lot of money. And it got so bad with me that I wouldn't go home until my money had gone. I would not go home, and if it meant I have to buy everyone in the pub a drink, I would do, and then I'd go home and do whatever. And once I finished these benders, and I was sitting there in the pub, and I was making a pint last me as long as I could because I had no money. Do you know how many of those people that I'd supported and funded their benders with me, or anything like that, or when I was in trouble, came to help me? Zero. Since I've been on YouTube as well, and whether you love me or hate me, whatever, and I've gotten obviously become known within the Tottenham community for Leave You Out and for being on YouTube and whatever. So many people that abandoned me during my dark times have messaged me going, "Oh, hi, Bri, how are you?" and blah, blah, blah. "I've seen you on YouTube. Really, it's so good to see you doing well for yourself." And they do this little 20-minute foreplay with me, and then they go, "Oh, can you do me a favour?" And I was like, "What's that?" He goes, "Well, I'm going through mental health or addiction problems or a friend is, and I know you've got any chance you could help?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am going to help you by saying goodbye, leave me alone. Where were you when I needed you?" So when people are doing this, it's very, very easy to get you. I have a saying that Will Smith used, which was always, "If you're absent during my struggles, don't expect to be present during my success." And they go on the football pitch, and it's amazing the support that was given to Dele Alli when he came out and said what he had to say. And everyone was like, "Oh my God, we have to back him, we have to support him, we have to do this, we have to do that." Well, Richarlison needs it now. And Richarlison is currently at this football club. Richarlison, whether he be on the bench, on the starting 11, which I don't want him to be, I'll be honest. I want Son there, not because of this, just because of form and form alone. But we never know what's going on behind closed doors. And obviously, Richarlison has now taken the courage, and it is a hell of a lot of courage for people to come out and do this. Like back in the day when Tony Adams and Paul Merson, yes, they played for Arsenal, admitted they had an issue. The courage it took to put themselves out there where they're going to get targeted for abuse or whatever, is not the time. We right now need to show Richarlison. Listen, me and Johnny were at Burnley. When he was warming up on the touchline, the fans were non-stop singing his name.
It's the keyboard. It's the keyboard. It's the keyboard warriors. And I got into trouble for saying this, Brian. It's not the fans who go to the away games, home and away, and then people said, "Oh, you're having a go at the people who can't afford to go to the games." No, I'm not. What I'm saying is that the people who the fans, the real fans that go, home and away, are trying their best to get him over the situation. Unfortunately, there's many thousands. Look, Brian, how many times have I gone on to? I've been on streams in the last few weeks, not trying to defend his form, but telling them that there's something wrong with him mentally. I kept saying it's mental, because the most basic football skills that he possesses, he's thinking about. You don't think about the basics of the ball coming to you. He's overthinking everything. His body language, his demeanor. I'm not going to go into how I know certain things about him, but I've tried to defend that aspect of it. And if he receives a fraction of the abuse that I receive just for going on about his mental state before he came out, before he said any of this, he was getting death threats, right? He was getting people taking pictures of his dogs with their heads cut off and sent to him. I mean, some of the stuff is just unbelievable. I don't understand the mentality of these people that hide behind a keyboard, right, under falsehood, and wish. What sort of Spurs fan wishes for a player to fail? For a Spurs player to fail. We've all got players we love and we don't like. Well, I get that, but openly willing and wanting them to fail is beyond me. And even when he came out with that statement, I saw loads yesterday, he's still shit. It doesn't matter. He's still good. Mental health, whatever. Mental health, right? Okay, get your health sorted, but you're still a shit footballer. F off out the club, right? I've seen loads of it. It's not a one-off. It's everywhere.
Johnny, this is the thing as well. What I've got to do. I mean, Colin and Ren have brought up two things, and I'll carry on. That we should be very careful and sensitive with how we do this. Do you think he should be taken out of the team until he's better? Because you know how away fans can be cruel. Do you know what, Colin? I don't know how you handle this. I mean, obviously, if it was me, as in me being Richarlison, I think right now, once you've come out and you've admitted this, not because of your form, the one thing you should concentrate is getting better yourself. If you're going to training and you're carrying this burden with you, and we don't know what the burden is. We don't know what's gone on. Obviously, we know something's happened, but we don't know, so we can't speculate on that. But for me, and having to deal with mental health and addiction, for me, what I would do, I'd be like, right, just take me out for a bit. Give me 2-3 weeks or whatever it takes to just get my head right. I know that leaves the squad short, but I'm a firm believer, if you can't help yourself, you can't help others.
And they won't give him time, Brian. They will not give him time. The fans, certain fans, not all of them. I'm talking about, I think, inside the stadium, right? The fans inside the stadium will give him that time. But there is an element, even within my group, as you know, Brian, without mentioning anybody, right? How I get ridiculed every day for standing up for Richie, because there's something, when I say there's something mentally not right there. Okay, I keep saying it. I think we need to look at what happened with Delhi.
Yep, that's what I said.
Well, Richie's right. You could see the body language is right. Look at the player that was in the World Cup. Look how joyful he was. In fact, look at the player that was in against the Sailors when he scored that hat-trick, right? Something has happened from that moment there where he was holding up our trophy. One of the many we've won.
David, I'll come to you in a second. But like Dave said, I think this is what he needs. When I say away, I don't mean away from interacting with going to training and being part, because sometimes that's what you need. You just need to be with the lads. You've come out, they'll support you, they'll get you through it.
The squad have. I mean, Madison's tweeted him already. Snowy tweeted him.
I tell you what, this is the bit I've got to talk about as well. Mike is bang on the money. Oh, sorry, Mick is bang on the money, and I can talk about this on so many levels. Listen, people will know that I've been sober for 15 years. When I was having wobbles here in England, I knew where I could go because I had my support network, as in the counselling service. I knew where that was. I had my family who have been like an absolute rock to me. My dad, who me and him used to not be able to be in the same room, is like my best mate. I had a day where a very good friend died, and then the next day his sister died. And then instead of being worried about his sister dying and the rest of that family, he was more concerned about me having a drink, and he left everyone to come and sit with me. But then when I moved to Canada, what I should have done immediately is sorted out the nearest alcohol support group just in case anything happened with me. And I didn't, because when I got there, my visa came through. I already had my job with Booking.com. Then I got promoted. I had a great circle of friends, blah, 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 blah. And then out of the blue, nowhere, in 2019, I was this close to having a drink, like literally that close, because I don't even know why. It just went bang. Thankfully, I didn't. But I struggled and didn't tell my wife for a few weeks because I was worried. And then obviously she got me into a support group, and then everything was fine. It's so important having the support. And like was said, you don't get over it. You learn how to cope with it. I have to cope with every day being an alcoholic. And is this the day that I have a drink? Is this the day I do a line of? Is this the day that I have another episode? And I almost had another mental health episode over the summer for a reason people know, and I'm not bringing that bastard into this. It's all about recognizing the problem, speaking out about it, because you can't suffer alone with this. I'm just happy that. Wait 1 second, Joe. I'm just happy that Richarlison is now and we're in a place as a society where people are talking about this more openly now. It's not the huge stigma and everything that came across it, and he came out and he spoke out, and hopefully he's going to get the help he needs. Dave, you've been quiet for a bit, so I'm going to bring you in. What's your thoughts on everything being discussed?
Basically, I just want to say, like, to anyone out there, you know what I mean? If you're suffering with mental health, don't be afraid to ask. I mean, a couple of days ago, I called the doctors and I asked them to put me through to a company around near me who have helped me in the past with certain things, because I've suffered with mental health problems since I was about 17 years old. Do you know what I mean? I'm 36 now. So, you know, it's been a long while. But yeah, anytime you need someone or needs to talk to someone, just don't be afraid to go out there and ask for the help, because mental health's a fickle thing. 1 minute you can feel as right as rain and think everything's rosy. The next day you're at rock bottom and everything is piling on you. So good on Richarlison for being open and saying he wants to seek help. And I hope this goes to many other people out there who see that and think, you know what, I need to ask for help, because, you know, you see a lot of things out there, and one word to someone, a certain phrase, a certain meaning, you know what I mean? Just saying to someone they're an idiot or something can send them over the top. And it's a worry out there, especially on the likes of Twitter, where no one has a filter. Do you know what I mean? So
right.
Yeah. So to anyone out there, just go ask for help. Don't be afraid to.
Look, I'm not going to go into too much, because you know the situation, what's happened before. But I could make a lot of comments about Richarlison, which I can't make. Fucking hell, how do I get around this one? Right. What I can say is that in Brazilian society, it's common to have your family and cousins and stuff come and be with you. Richarlison's house is like Piccadilly Circus. Same with Emerson. The thing is, Emerson cleared away a lot of his hangers-on, so to speak, the people that were there. Richie has had a lot of people in that environment right on top of him, morning, noon and night. Yeah. So you're living in the madhouse. Now, obviously, you've got all of these rats, not all of them rats, but you've got all these rats feeding in a feeding frenzy, waiting for drippings, waiting to catch any drop of money or favour, free food, free lodging, free tickets, free status, pitching all sorts of crap that doesn't exist, scams, boom, 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 mental. And then you go on the field and then you're not delivering. And then that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where it just gets worse and worse and worse. We see that, you know, he can't control the ball. He's stepping on the ball. He's snatching at shots where he's never going to be, it never was a 30 goal, not many that are, or a 25 goal striker. But he's a good enough striker to, you know, cause problems for Spurs. For the opposition. But I think the support network is definitely there with the South Americans. They're very tight. Romero, Bentancur, Emerson, Villiers, all of them. They're all in, you know, WhatsApp group. And Madison is helping out. Nothing is going right for him on top of that. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but against Peru, there was a goal line technology, right? 5 minutes VAR, searching for the goal to find if he was offside. I've never seen so many lines in my life. And then you've got all the people tweeting absolute shite, right? The guy can't stay on side. Mental health, there's something wrong with him, right? You know, why can't he stay on side? So you've got two camps here. You've got the camp that understands and realizes mental health is a real thing that needs help and needs understanding. He's our player. You should be wanting him to turn it around. And you've got the other side who couldn't give a damn, right? And then they're the two sides clash. But I think on the whole, Brian and Dave, right, when you go into that stadium and you go to the away games, the support is universal, even if you're not a massive fan. I think as Brian and I saw against Burnley away, we were singing his name when he was warming up.
And I'm just going to address a comment, and I need to address it. Colin, this isn't aimed at you or anything. What I will tell you is, and I can tell you firsthand. No. This is a genuine question, not a dig from Colin. I'm taking it as. Colin, I'll tell you. Like I said, whoa, Johnny, whoa. You're looking at a guy right now that go back 16, 17 years. I had huge issues with addiction, both cocaine and alcohol. I had mental health I still suffer with mental health, and in 2004, and I've always been very open with this for this exact reason. So, I'm not saying I inspired Richarlison, but Richarlison can speak out, and other people, people of every day, can come out and speak about mental health and not be as scared to admit they have a problem. Is why I'm so open about it on here. I had mental health issues from the late 90s until this present day. 2004, I actually was admitted to a mental health unit and spent just over a month and a half in a mental health unit. And if it wasn't through help of counsellors, if it wasn't through getting this help, right now I'd be racking up a line and doing a line of cocaine live on air with you. I'd not be drinking a coffee. I'd be drinking a vodka and coke or whiskey in my coffee. I also have a huge and still ongoing issue with anger management. I have a vile temper that is quite scary when it erupts, but it hasn't erupted for years because of getting the help that these incredible people, like I said, I never used to go before I went and got counselling, which I should have done years or months before. My parents were begging me to, and I said, nope, I'm not crazy, I'm not mad, I'm not this, I'm not that. If I had done that years ago or before I might not have gone down the avenue as badly as I did. When your head is in a different place, you know when you sometimes forget something that you were meant to do and it was so easy to remember? It's because something was going on outside that you couldn't control. Once he gets the help, can reset his mind and start back where he was, you'll be amazed what he can do. Now, I'm not saying just because he'll do this, he'll all of a sudden have a first touch like Ronaldinho and technique like Ronaldinho. But once his head is in the right place, he will be sharper. He will be more eager.
Brian, I'm not having this, right? I'm really not having this, right? Okay, Colin, right? Mate, go to the World Cup. Tell me he's got no frigging technique, right? Go and watch the goal, which was one goal of the tournament. Or watch the second goal where he bounces the ball like a seal, flips the ball over and then gets onto the rebound. Mate, I'm sorry, with the greatest respect, his form now is absolutely atrocious.
John, he's not having a pop. He's not having a shot.
He's not. But that there, go and have a look at him playing, right, in that World Cup and those 2 goals and tell me he doesn't possess any technique, right? You're talking absolute twaddle, okay? He is not the player that he was then, 100%. He's nowhere near that player right now. But to say he's never had it, it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
I think, Johnny, I think he was asking as a general question. He weren't having a shot.
I don't know, mate. How's it going to fix? Well, that's what I'm saying to you. This is where they're all saying it, right? Doesn't matter if he goes and sees psychological help, he's still shit, right? And that is it. That is the counterweight to saying you've got no, he has not been playing well. There is no excuse for his form right now. Absolutely none, right? Okay. But to say he's never had any or anything is ridiculous, honestly.
There you go. I mean, right, we're going to quickly move from this subject because let's talk about a subject.
What was Box saying? Didn't say. What was Box saying?
I thought we're going to change the subject. Enough talking about. We are going to talk about obviously the 25-man squad has been named. And David, I'm going to come to you first. Obviously, we knew the squad needed trimming. We know what was going on. What's been your thoughts in regards to? And let's just cut straight to the chase. Yeah. 23 men aren't going to get discussed. 2 men most certainly are. Let's go. You first, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people said it would show, where Ange is with regards to how much, how much he has within the squad. And to see Hugo and Dier's name there, you kind of expected it in a sense, do you know what I mean? And, it doesn't make sense. Lloris, we heard he doesn't want to be at the club anymore. He's been told he's not going to play games. Like he would. At one point, there was words coming out saying that he weren't going to be included in the 25-man squad. Yep. And yet here he is now, a player who's open to leave, doesn't want to be here, probably not going to get any game time, but yet taking up a slot. When we have, I think, 5 goalkeepers altogether, I believe. And then you've got Eric Dier, who has been frozen out. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't even seen the bench. And yet, here he is, sitting there now within the squad. And I think, I can't remember who said it, but someone said that it makes sense putting him there because he is an experienced defender, regardless of how you think about his, how he plays and everything. He's technically an ex-England international. And I had to leave ex-international. And you know what I mean? It kind of makes sense in a way of putting him there. Because if you get mass injuries, just like this, mass injuries and everything, throw in a kid, say 18 years old, who hasn't had a game or anything against a team like, say, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, or someone like that. No, not 5 keepers in it, 5 keepers all together. But throwing a kid like that can put them under pressure and can hinder them in a sense. But then it's on the other case of, well, then you're not going to give them the chance. You're not going to find out, So it's one of them. I weren't surprised, but it's kind of like, why? What is the point?
Johnny?
I love Eric Dier. Eric Dier loves me. Yeah. How did we go from that to where we are today? False hope, obviously. Look.
Sorry, Johnny, just before you said as well, look, as I said, that's what happens when you read it. Sir Colin was literally just asking the question about it. Sir Colin, I hope I answered the question well enough for you, and we didn't
Apologies
take it.
then, Colin. It's just that, Colin, just to explain here, that if you looked on Twitter after he came out, that I can't tell you how many tweets there were. I don't care about his mental health. Get himself sorted out, but he's still shit, right? That was the consensus. Get him fixed, get him out in January. That the real heartfelt stuff was flooding through toxic Twitter yesterday.
No, big up Colin for coming out and saying that. Like I said, that's the way. That's what happens. You got to just see where you take it. But yeah, Johnny, back to you and the 25-man squad.
I feel I have to defend that situation. I think that I'm like quite a few people. Ange will not compromise. We've heard it before. I am in charge. I am the one. If anything goes wrong, make my own decisions. And if those decisions are wrong, I am the person to blame. I don't believe this for this situation. I don't believe that he would want two people who had a punch up at Newcastle, right, at half time. Two guys who have had rows with various members of the squad at various points, Pointy Man and Hugo, would come into this squad and go into that dressing room, Hugo having lost the captaincy, and suddenly he doesn't have the power and respect that he had before. And Eric Dier, who was number 2 in the dressing room, suddenly isn't number 2. He's number 24, right? I don't believe that their demeanour and their attitude can be helpful to what right now is an extremely positive dressing room. Will they just be on the squad? If they're on the squad, I can handle it, right? Until January. If they're on the bench, that will be a different kettle of fish for me, because right now I don't believe they need to be on the bench. Emerson Royal can cover right centre-back. He's played that. He's been trying out for that, and Ange has told him that. And we've also got Phillips, who I wouldn't want to risk at the moment, but who knows? I'm really not happy about it. I've got to be honest. I think Eric Dier, as we said before the end of last season, that Dier would see out his contract and probably try and sign a pre-contract in January. Lloris stated he wanted to leave. Yet he's been presented with 4 different contracts and refused them all. You know, come on. You know, I just think Ange has declared that I'm not for changing. I am my own man. Yeah, we saw Dier on the plane. We saw Dier as captain. This was the one thing hanging over, which I said, like the plane journey, let's see the plane, see how much control he has. And they're on it. And then let's see how much control he has when the squad's announced. I can see the point of maybe Dier in the background. I'm just not sure about Lloris.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this very, very mixed at the moment. The way I'm looking at it is Eric Dier. I think he's in the squad, but you won't see him anywhere near match day. I really don't. I think he's just got to be there. The way I look at this is we were told contracts were going to be ripped up. Surprise, surprise, they haven't been. This is the difference. You look at someone like Arsenal that get rid of Pepe. You're not good enough. You're not welcome in the squad. You're not going to do anything. Don't know anything about if it's a personal thing or anything, so don't pay too much attention to that lot. But you're not working. You're not going to get in the team. Off you go. Off you pop. Now, I believe they've tried to do that with Hugo Lloris, and Hugo Lloris has declined. I don't know about Eric Dier. I don't expect to see him. I think the only reason he is actually there is should something happen to Romero, should something happen to Van der Ven, then he is there. Is that a good thing? No. But
where's he training though, Brian? Where's he training?
I'm getting to this, John. I'm getting to this. Hugo Lloris, I just don't get it. People are saying he'll be a good second goalkeeper. I'd rather have Fraser Forster. In all honesty, like you mentioned beforehand, the punch ups that happened at Newcastle, I don't see how you
And with
have a
Son,
goal. You don't have a goalkeeper. Or his son, that was ages ago. That's been sorted. But he's obviously he's partial to a ruck, is Hugo. But you look at it, I don't see on the Hugo Lloris side how you go from the captain of this club and number one, and having been number one the whole time without serious competition. Yes, there's been backup keepers for you, but that's what they've been, backups. You're not going to take Vicario's place. Vicario is the number one. I don't see how this works, but obviously you have to include him should an injury happen to. The fact that we got 5 keepers and 2 forwards is just laughable, in my opinion. In my opinion, but I understand it from that point. They're there. You're going to include them.
it's 7 if
off
you
the
include
pitch.
Keeley and Gunter.
That's true. But then you look at it off on the pitch. I don't see him having much game time, if any. Listen, we're out of the Carabao Cup, so I just don't see it. I just don't see how this happens. I don't. Put it this way, Sheffield United, do I expect to see Eric Dier in the starting 11 or on the sub bench? No. If he is, like you said, Johnny, if he is, then it's like, oh, wait a minute. If Phillips is there, if Emerson is on the bench, because there's cover. If he's on the bench, then I'm going to start having questions. But right now, the way I'm looking at it is, listen, Ange has to name a squad. These players are available to him. Right now, us guys here and everyone in the chat are probably thinking, right, start 11 on the bench. That's what we're football fans. That's what we do. We think starting 11 the bench. That's all we mainly care about. He's got to look beyond that and think, right, there's these games coming up. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if? So I can kind of see why he's done it, because he's got no option to. It's whether they come on the pitch or if things happen. But listen, Vicario is by far our number one goalkeeper. Lloris isn't even coming close. Let's be serious. Lloris in his heyday, there you go. He's not coming close. He's in the final year of his contract. Who knows? January they both could pop off.
We lost money. Look how much money we lost on those two, Brian.
Yeah, but this is the thing. You look at it. We bought them for a combined total of 15 million. No, sorry, 16 million. 12 for Hugo, including bonuses or add-ons. Sorry, and 4 or 5 million for Dier. They've given us 10 and 8 years service.
Yeah.
They've literally paid. You know what I mean? They've given enough service to say, do you know what? Yeah. Off you go. But like I said, with Hugo, offers were made, so I can't go leaving you arsehole. You did this. He actually did. So I can't say anything bad about leaving. I can't.
Brian, I'll ask you the question. This is what makes me laugh. Is he bitter and he's refusing to go, Hugo? What is the purpose of keeping him around? This is a guy that was captain who's now been made a nobody almost, right? Pushed into the side. He's been offered full contract from other clubs. He's been offered a settlement, right, by the club to leave. He's refused all of them to stay and hang around. Why?
I mean, that's a good point. David, what are you thinking?
Well,
and before you do that, I just want to say super sticker from Gaguma. Thank you, Gaguma. You always send the loveliest.
Gaguma, thank you.
Sends the loveliest super chats and stickers. So thank you, Gaguma. I don't know why YouTube or StreamYard don't incorporate that. So when I bring it up, it doesn't just say super sticker. But David, sorry, brother, back to you.
No, it's all right. Yeah. Well, for me, I agree with what you're saying about Dier, you know what I mean, having to be included in a sense because of obviously, thank you, because obviously anything can happen in football. I mean, you look at the tackle that Romero had on him.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? That scared me. Do you know what I mean? Because that was a horrendous tackle.
Apparently he's having a scan again, Dave.
What's that?
Apparently he's having a scan on that just to check.
Well, fingers crossed, innit? Do you know what I mean? But that's it. Anything can happen. I mean, any players can get injured. Do you know what I mean? And then you imagine if, say, Van der Ven and Romero got injured, right?
Yep.
You're going to be left with what? An 18-year-old kid, Phillips, who hasn't played a Premier League game yet. And who else? Ben Davies at left centre-back? Do you know what I mean? That's what you got to think of as well, is the future. Anything can happen. Numerous players can be injured. And as much as people hate on Dier and as much as people think of how bad a footballer he is, he's still been there and done it. Yeah? So Ange is obviously thinking there, saying, if I need that experience, I've got to have it sitting there. I don't think we'll see him at all on the bench or even in the starting 11 or anything, but he's there as a backup in case things go terribly wrong. Obviously, we wished he was sold. He clearly didn't want to go. Reasons we haven't got a clue. And we should have brought in another defender to push him even further back to make him even realize, like, look, I'm definitely not getting game time now. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
But that didn't happen. So it's one of them. It's a catch-22 type of situation. Do you know what I mean? And thingy. But I just want to clarify something because a few comments popped in when I mentioned about the 5 keepers in the 25-man squad. I don't mean 5 keepers in the 25-man squad. I mean, the whole point of Lloris is we have 5 keepers at the squad. Right? You know what I mean? We didn't need to include him. I mean, keeping him round to help the keepers, don't get me wrong, he's got mass experience. French number 1. He's been there, done it with everyone. Do you know what I mean? So to have him sitting in the background helping the likes of Vicario, because Vicario came out and said Lloris has been there helping him. How do we know that Vicario's star, where he struggled, Lloris helped him to become what he's doing now?
But that's the problem with the club. That's the problem with the club, Dave, because, you know, had the club come out and said, this is how you liaise with the fans. Guys, Hugo, although he hasn't signed, he's going to stay on and he's going to help coaching. He's going to help with Big Vic. Hello, it's a different ball game, right? Yeah. Everyone understands the situation. Everyone understands what's going on. And you made a very valid point. You know, I said, maybe he finishes his career and he stays on as a goalkeeping coach, right? I said that last year. But if that's going to happen, then make the statement, not leave us all guessing, thinking, you know, is he going to be the bitter, twisted guy that was the captain and is now going to be sulking at the end of the dressing room along with Dier?
There we go. Do you know what? Before we go on to the final part of the show, and we can start all being happy and together and all lovey-dovey with what we're about to discuss about. Guys, we got 150 people in and under 50 likes. Can we please change that? Please, can we change that? I've got a feeling this subject will help it, because after seasons and seasons of praying for international breaks to come to stop us watching that and up. Mate, I put a tweet out during the England-Scotland game. I was like, my God, England were playing like Tottenham of old. Oh my God, how boring. And do you know what? That used to be entertaining for us. Gareth Southgate's England used to be entertaining for us. But thankfully, we love Big ANGEBALL instead, and it returns Saturday. David, how happy are you to have the return of ANGEBALL? And also, please God, Romero's scan comes back all clear. We got a clean bill of health from an international break, and we go into it now with 3 big games. How happy are we for the return of ANGEBALL?
Oh, mate, I've been dying for it. Do you know what I mean? As a Welshman, I think a lot of other people understand I can't stand international break. Do you know what I mean? You know, but I can't wait for ANGEBALL to be back. I mean, like you said, when we sit there and you look at like a season ago or a couple of seasons ago, and you're sitting there, an international break comes along, you're dead happy, like, yeah, finally I don't have to watch the absolute boring draws we're watching day after day after day. Do you know what I mean? Now it's like, I can't stand it. I want it gone. I want to get back to watching us play that beautiful football. Do you know what I mean? And I'm so excited for it to be back. Hopefully everyone's, like you said, got a clean bill of health, and Sheffield United game is going to be absolutely awesome. And I literally, like I said, cannot wait for it.
Oh, mate, I can't. Honestly, there's an international break, Jason. Every single month up until January. And Jason, I might reach out to you for the same reason as last time. I'll reach out to you after the show at some point today. May need your expertise if possible. But yes, Johnny, the return of ANGEBALL.
Yeah, are we talking about, just to clarify, has anyone checked that we haven't included Danny Dier in our squad instead of Eric? Because I think Danny Dier would be a great addition to the dressing room. Live and morale. bit of cheeky Cockney banter. Added in rather than Eric Dier.
Sorry, MZ. I'll try and find that super sticker. Sorry, Hannah. I'll try and find that. Go on, Johnny. Thank you.
Look, just glad to have Handball back. Look, guys, you know, we're going to have bumps in the road. The big test is coming. Sheffield United will be a tough game because they'll employ a low block. Man City struggled with them at home. Beat them 2-1 with a late goal. So don't expect an absolute walkover. But a big test, obviously, is Arsenal and Liverpool, two teams that both like to have the ball. And there'll be severe tests to us. But, you know, if we come out of this with, I don't know, say 4 points, I won't be upset. You know, if we get a draw of one of the games and we beat Sheffield United, I'll accept it. I think originally when we spoke, Brian, we said we just look at it, you know, around January time when we can reassess where we are, because this is a 4-year project. But I'm already excited, and most of the fan base are, I think. Even the ones who, you know, I wasn't one who wanted Ange, but there are still some diehards who say, wait till November, he'll be out of a job, and Ryan Mason will be back in. There's plenty of them knocking about still.
That's one of the best comments. That's one of the best comments. Anyone who watches WWE or WWF from the past will know that. Gagoom has just sent in another super sticker. We've got a super sticker war going on. So thank you very much. And then we've just got a so thank you very much indeed. And then just to go, hello, Kate, thank you very much indeed. Yes, we are. Bring on ANGEBALL and the return of Ange management, most importantly. So, yeah, before I speak, someone put in the comments, I'm going to try and find it. I think it was AJ. I'm going to answer AJ's question. Where was it? He said about what was the thing with Basuma. So basically, what was said about Basuma with Ange in the interview is he was saying that he can be a leader. He's his type of player. Carry on what you're doing. You can be a leader. And then he turned up late for training the next day, and he said, leaders aren't late. And he laughed it off, and he hasn't been late since. So the respect and banter that he has with his players was shown. But yeah, listen, the return of ANGEBALL. First of all, I was just delighted from what I saw. I can't remember. I didn't see the last part. I don't think Maddison played against Scotland, which I was delighted to see, because at times that was getting naughty there. And the last thing you need now, it was the first time I was watching a game where obviously every time Harry Kane got tackled, you're like, oh no, get up, get up, get up. We've been relieved of that duty. We've been relieved of worrying about that. And I was like, just don't put James Maddison on the pitch. Just don't do it. Just let him be. Just let him sit on the bench, soak up the atmosphere. And we have got to now. We've got Sheffield United at home, and we'll do a big chat about it in tomorrow's show. Obviously, the build up to it. But it looks like we have this clean bill of health. And you know what? It just goes to show the swing that this man has had, because now everyone is just so excited and dying to get to this game. And you got to look at it. If we get a win here, and I think we can, and I think we will, we go into these next two games on as much confidence and belief as possible. I mean, Dave, for you, should we win this, how many points would you say you would want? Obviously, 6 is the main thing. How many points do you reckon you'd be happy with, or we could take from Arsenal away, Liverpool home? Yeah, the next 3. Let's have Sheffield United. What would you be? And people in the comments, what would you be happy with in the next 3 games point-wise? And what do you think we will get in the next 3 games? No right or wrong answer. Just right. How many? What you'd be happy with, and how many you think we'll end up with?
I'm going for 4.
Wait, David first. Well, we'll go David first, then you, Johnny.
Right. I'm gonna be a bit. I'm gonna be a bit out there, because obviously, if anyone watches the other channel, I'm very positive. I'm gonna go. I think winning. I really believe we'll have 7 points by the end of them 3 games. I think we'll beat Sheffield United. I think, and I know we haven't done it in a long time, but I think we're going to beat Arsenal, but we'll draw with Liverpool. Call me deluded or anything. Realistically, you know what I mean? I think we'll probably get a win, probably a loss, and probably a draw. But for me, I think the way we're playing, I reckon it's going to be a win-win draw.
All right, Johnny.
Look, what I hope for and what I think will be is two different things, right?
Yeah.
You know, don't be surprised if we go all Spursy and draw against Sheffield United and go and beat Liverpool, you know, something stupid like that. I think I'll be happy with 4 or 5. You know, look, this is development. So I would be ecstatic with 6, I'll be honest with you. But I think 4 or 5 points, I will still be there, regardless of what happens. Even if we only end up with 3 points, I will still be behind what's going on at the moment. As long as we can see progression. If we go and play Arsenal and Liverpool and we put on a fantastic performance, but end up losing 3-2 or whatever it may be, I'm not going to come away despondent. I can see progression, and that's all we're asking for.
Okay, so do you know what? I was talking with Ben. We were talking about this big up league. Good morning to you, sir. I would take which the one before. Sheffield United are going to get blown out of the water, Johnny. It's a feeling that just must happen. Okay, so I think I would be happy with 5. I would be happy with 5. Most important thing about that, if we took 5, is we would have taken points of our Arsenal and Liverpool, which are called points against Manchester United.
We'll be unbeaten.
We'll still be exactly. That's another thing. We'll still be unbeaten going into this. I'd be happy with 5. I've got a feeling we're going to get 7. I've got, and I'm going to tell you now. I think Sheffield United win. The Filth draw, maybe win, and the same with Liverpool. But if I had to choose a win at home to Liverpool or a win at the Emirates, not just because I'm going there, but it doesn't matter what you offer me, a win away at the Emirates is a win away at the Emirates. I don't care. I would take a win at the Emirates if I had to take a defeat against Liverpool all day. That's just me. That game, especially the last. I mean, next week we'll have a big week of North London derby. We'll do special things based on the North London derby every day. But I honestly think we will be undefeated still at the end of this. Knowing that we've all said this now, you know what's going to happen. We'll probably get a defeat on Saturday. But the reason I say this as well is you look at the previous North London derbies. It's been the old guard that have been there year in, year out, and to them now this is just, yep, we don't lose this game. We wake up, oh yeah, it's the big ones. Let's do it. And after a certain amount of years, you just know, right? Let's put on a show. It's Arsenal, yeah. And the game with Nuno in charge was quite frankly the worst first half of football I've ever witnessed, especially in a game of that magnitude. Last season with Conte, it weren't much better. With Jose, when Lamela scored that Rabona, they were all over us from minute 1. Emil Smith-Rowe absolutely annihilated us single-handedly. The performances there have been shocking, but I think going into this game, or after Sheffield United, with the players that have now been recruited, the players now, you look at that team, like Johnny said, only one in the Human Son was not brought in by Paratici or whatever. These players are going into this game knowing that this is their first North London derby. This is the game. One second, Joe. You can in a second. 1 second. This is the one where they know this is the game we don't lose. They've heard it. They've seen it. They know what it represents. I think they go into this game, whether we win, lose, or draw, and I think win. I've gone from win or draw to win all of a sudden. I see my own motivational speech has got me pumped up. So I think going in there, playing the football they do, I think this North London derby, whether we win, lose, or draw, they will put performance in there. There won't be another, oh my God, yeah, it's Arsenal, yeah, let's just make sure. They'll go in there with their hearts beating fast with the adrenaline, the momentum, the belief. And you can see the connection these fans have, or the players have brought with these fans. And I think they're going to go out there and at least perform. We won't be sitting here, regardless of performance, knocking the performance. Johnny, go on, brother.
Oh, I was just going to say, you've got to bear in mind here that there's 2 things I think here that are afoot. First of all, when you look at the age of the squad and some of the players, going to the Emirates in a very toxic atmosphere, and the crowd, every challenge the crowd are going to be up. That's going to be a massive test for a lot of these kids, for Van der Ven, who's never played in it, Adoji, Sarr, the goalkeeper. It's a big test. It's a big test for them. Solomon, they've not played in that intense atmosphere for the club before. So that's going to be a major test, and I'll be interested to see how that comes through. The other thing is I think, having gone to the stadium and seen that we have absolutely no atmosphere at our ground all the way through, Conte, apart from one game against Arsenal, the atmosphere against Man United was so unbelievable. I believe that basically we could be Fortress White Hart Lane this season because of the Ange effect and the feel-good factor. I even saw people in the cheese sandwich. I have to say the cheese, just don't want to upset the kosher viewers. The prawn sandwich brigade, even they were clapping and cheering and singing. And if we can make that the Fortress like it was in the last season at the Lane, where we went unbeaten at home, I think we could have a fantastic run. So I believe that the home atmosphere is going to be a massive advantage this season. And can we finally start going away? We've seen it now, but the acid test is going to be, for that young team, is going to be Arsenal away.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I just have to say very quickly before I come to you again, Dave. AJ, my brother, I didn't see it. Thanks for putting this in here. Now, I love AJ. I love Jay, and I love Mr. Box Office. I love them both. Mr. Box Office has a very special place in my heart. I love him dearly. We spend a lot of time together when I'm over here. We speak a lot away from Tottenham. As people will know, I am the king of putting stupid bets on when it comes to on YouTube. I've got 2 tattoos either side of my here to represent my stupidity. I would rather get a tattoo on my forehead of whatever it was than make a bet to have to wear an Arsenal shirt. You could not pay me to put that crap on me. That part, I don't understand why anyone. Stell done it as well. I can't believe people put bets on to put Arsenal shirt. Listen, these things here. If I get rid of let me get rid of the comment. It's easier. My We Are Tottenham TV tattoo, which is there, and my Tottenham on Tour tattoo, which is there, are with me for life. All right, it's not as easy just putting a shirt on and put a shirt off, but I would get another tattoo literally anywhere rather than putting that shit on my person. David, over to you with what we were just talking about when it comes to the upcoming games.
Yeah, I think what we need to realise as well with this North London derby is, if you've watched Arsenal, yes, they've won games and stuff like that, but Arteta is literally changing it up so much. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but he's changing it up so much. I mean, putting players out of position and stuff like that, whereas we're set a lot better, and the players on our team know their positions. That's what Ange's been trying to do from the beginning, yeah? Whereas from last season, Arteta's come in and he's trying to throw players out of position and stuff like that. So I think this is going to be a different test to previous. And the fact is, if you look at, Arsenal this season, you look at their games, they've struggled quite a lot.
Yeah, listen, I have to say in a disclaimer right now, any stupid bet that I put on has to be all cleared with my missus. In case I will put bets on, and I will go pretty extreme. Hair transplants, I don't think I'll be able to swing that one with wifey. For all future bets, I might have to give out my wife's email address to get it okayed, because I keep saying yes to very, very stupid things, and they're not going down well. But sorry, had you finished what you were saying before I interrupted you?
Yeah, pretty much. It was just that, basically, saying it's going to be a different test for us, and the fact that Arteta keeps changing the team at the moment, and they've got a fair few injuries. So I think with our team, I think it's going to be a lot better for us personally.
Dark arts, Dave, though. You know,
Yeah.
Arteta will be running along that art, like getting in players' faces, in the referee's face. He's still getting away with it, even though they said they were going to clamp down on it. He's still doing the same shit, right?
I'm surprised he doesn't walk out with a bloody sticker on his chest. You know what I mean? Ref, listen to me.
Yeah.
Like he did with Rice.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you look at it. Let's have a quick chat about it. You look at it, going into that game. Let's just say it's clean bill of health. Doggy and Porro. That I don't think they'll be able to handle them. Especially, I mean, the passing range of Porro is going to really help with our Arsenal play. I don't think they'll have a clue what to do with Destiny. I just honestly don't. The defence, at long last, will take care of itself, those centre-backs. Bissouma, we've been overrun in midfield every single time because of it. Bissouma cuts that off. Sarr cuts that off. If Maddison carries on the form he's doing, they won't be able to cope with him. And all the free kicks that we used to get in the North London derby, Arsenal will be worried about, for the first time ever, they will be worried about giving the dead ball situations away within James Maddison range, because they know there is a player there that can now punish it. And then you look at the front three, whether it be Brennan Johnson, who will scare the life out of Zinchenko if he plays on the right, scare the life out of him. I just think, player-wise, we are also better equipped. Not saying we match them, not saying we beat them because player for player. I'm saying that I actually think we've got the players to actually say, right, we've got different. They knew what they used to do. They used to Son, Kane, stop them, done. I don't think this time they can even do that.
We're not predictable, are we? We're not predictable, Brian. That's the thing. But look, the thing is, Arsenal, they're playing crap, apparently, and they've still got the same amount of points. Listen, Porro is a worry. I'm not even going to go down that one with the pantomime defending. He's behind you. Let's hope it doesn't happen. But if I was Arsenal and I was Arteta, I would be coming down that right-hand side, 100%, attacking Porro. You don't want to be going against the Doji and Van der Ven, do you? Let's be honest. Not a chance. That's our weakest side. Decky and Porro, that is definitely the side to attack. Let's see what happens. But listen, it's as someone put in there before, it's 13 years since we won at the Emirates.
Yep.
So let's hope for the best.
Question I'm going to ask David, and also, because I know he's still in the chat, Mr. Colin Cross. Brennan Johnson, in an honest opinion, and obviously I'm asking you too because of your Welsh heritage and your Welsh, do you see this being the game where Brennan Johnson starts and Arsenal won't have a clue to do with it and terrifies that left-hand side because we'd think he would play right? Or do you bring him on the bench once the game's underway and everyone's tiring and go, right, now just run the bloody channels and just run the socks off them and make your impact there? Where are you going with and taking the bias out of it? What do you reckon is the best way to play him in that game?
Yeah, I think with Brennan, I think the best thing would be to have Decky start, right? And because we know Decky hasn't got pace, but what he can do is he can push defenders back. He can hold the ball. He can, you know what I mean? He's good at that and tiring out defenders, right? So for me, I'd have Decky until at least about 70th minute, 65 minute, depending on how the game's going. Yeah? You bring Brennan on against a tired defence, they will be petrified and he will force them back because his pace, compared to any other player on the pitch, Udogie, Van der Ven, anyone, yeah, his pace up front will scare the life out of the likes of Zinchenko, and I don't know if Gabriel will be there as well, like, because they cannot match him. Regardless of what they think, they cannot match him. So they will have to sit further back, which will push everyone else forward. But I don't think him starting would be the best thing because he's only just come in. He's a young lad. Do you know what I mean? So no bias at all. I think my honest opinion is bring him on around the 70th minute and let him just run them ragged because it will open up spaces for the likes of Son. It will open up space on the left. I mean, I'd even thought go to say, like, bring on Perisic at the exact same time as him. If the game's 0-0 or we're winning 1-0 or they're winning 1-0, bringing Perisic and Brennan on at the same time will force their midfield and defence to go right back and will give us a lot more of a chance.
And Johnny, your thought, and it'll be the final thought on that game, on that position.
Right, so basically, having watched bits and clips of him for Wales, he had shooting skills that I might have currently. It was all over the place. I'm the same as Dave. What I've not liked is how we're finishing games. I've got to be honest. I think that we've made all these changes and we've sort of killed games. We were 5-1 up against Burnley and it all went off. We were up. We're trying to contain games. So I would bring on Johnson as well. But what I'm not quite sure why he's taken Destiny off with sort of 75 minutes gone or 70 minutes gone, whether it's all the running and the work he's getting through, I'm not sure. But if you bring on Perisic, he's going to have Solomon's going to start, or does he start with Perisic and bring on Solomon and Johnson for the last 20 minutes? I don't know. There's lots of ability there to switch it up. I think we're blessed with options, but for me, Johnson has to come on with 15 minutes or so to go. Maybe we'll see that an indication of that against Sheffield United, whether he gets a few minutes. We'll see. But I'm the same as David. Perisic and Johnson. But I just want to see. I want to see something positive, because if you take off the progression, if you're taking off Sarr and you're taking off Solomon and you're taking off Decky, I think we're losing something, 15, 20 minutes to go. So will Johnson get the service then? Will be out on his own? We'll see. But I definitely think I'm agreeing with David. 15, 20 minutes to go. Let his pace try and do something.
Okay, there we go. Well, go on, John. Go on, David.
I was just going to ask Johnny this. Do you think it'd be better if you started Decky and Solomon with Son up top, yeah?
Yeah.
With Solomon running that left side all that time, yeah, knackering that defence out, and Cooley doing pretty much similar, switching it around the 70th minute with Perisic and Brennan on the right and left, the balls that they could put in the box, because Brennan's best thing is going to the byline and bringing the ball back in. Against tight defence, that's a nightmare. Perisic is fantastic at basically whipping the ball in. So you got crazy options there in that 70th minute against the tight defence, rather than starting Perisic and then bringing on Solomon and Brennan, hypothetically, who will do the same thing. Do you know what I mean? So when you switch it with, say, Solomon and Perisic, you're changing the dynamic of that left side and on the right, because you're going to have low balls coming in on the right with high balls coming in on the left. Do you think that'd be a better option? Or
yeah, no. What I would do is, controversially, considering what we've all been talking about here, I bring on Johnson on Kulu's side. I bring Perisic on the left-hand side, and I will be taking Sonny off with 15 minutes to go, and I'll be bringing on Richarlison and whipping those balls in, because that's what he loves.
Johnny, you got to remember, that's if he's still there. That's if he's not taking time out. That's the other equation.
I think the squad will come round him. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Exactly. But on that note, we're going to have a big North London every day. We'll do something North London derby orientated, whether it be greatest 11 in the Premier. We're going to do loads of shit. I'm not going to release spoilers now. So
what's the scores on the doors, Brian?
Scores on the doors. Let me have a quick check before we go. Let's have a looky. So we have had 184 people in right now with us, and we are up to 88 likes. Let's get that over 100 whilst we close off, people. Just 12 likes. Dave, where can people find you, sir?
Yeah, so obviously some have seen, but if you haven't, I'm over on Tottenham All. It's a pretty much a Spurs channel, great group of lads. We have fantastic chats over there. It's more laid back, it's more of a laugh and stuff. We joke about and stuff. Me and Brian did a video recently that's absolutely blew the channel up crazily. So if you could jump over, go drop a like on that video and a subscribe, it'd be wonderful. And if you want to find me personally, I'm on Twitter, and I'm Rodrigo Roadman on Twitter.
There you go. And Johnny, get the finger ready. Where can people find you? Look at that.
He's mastered it now, isn't he?
Mate,
Weeks,
it's like
months of practicing in the night. I do this in my sleep. You know, I go like come and follow me here on Johnny H3232 on Twitter. Come and join us on the Spaces, where you can chat and it's not video, it's just voice, so a bit like radio phoning. Or you can find me here with Tottenham on Tour. You can also find me on TikTok, which Let's Talk Tottenham 32, and on Instagram. But you'll find us on Sunday, 9:30, on Anger Management or Anger Management.
Yeah,
it's
back. I'm so happy.
I love that show, by the way.
You know what? It's one of the best, and I don't just say this, it's one of the most well-received shows on YouTube. The numbers just keep growing with that show. We got to 6,500 or over 6,500, which is our biggest video ever with the Burnley one. So a win against Sheffield United. I mean, if we get a win against Liverpool or Arsenal, hopefully, then there'll be a lot of people that want to watch. But you will find us. Tottenham on Tour will be back again today. And I know Ben Kaufman's in the background because we've got a meeting in a second. 6:30 we're back tonight, isn't that, Ben? Give me a thumbs up or 6:30. Tottenham on Tour are back with the Shelf Side Pump Up Show, just to have some fun and giggles and talk all things Spurs or not Spurs. And we will be back again tomorrow with another Cockerel Doodle Do. And then, as Johnny said, Ange Management on Sunday. So, guys, thank you, everyone, for watching the show. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, Levy out.
Come on, you Spurs. Bro, I think you forgot to end it.